Hi, my name's Cole, and I'm the seminarian at St. Patrick's Parish this year. Normally, I'd be able to come into your classrooms and introduce myself and get to know you as well. But because of COVID, obviously, things have changed. So I thought I'd take this chance to tell you a bit about myself and my story. I grew up in Toronto, the oldest of three boys, not exactly in the downtown center, but definitely in the city. And when I was a kid, I loved practicing karate.
Wax on, wax off. Don't forget to breathe. Very important.
Reading books. For example, I lined up outside of an Indigo bookstore on the morning that the fourth Harry Potter book was released so that I could get it first. And I like to speak French. I actually went to a French immersion school. But here's something that might surprise you about me. I only went to public schools because growing up, my family was not Catholic. After high school, I decided to go to McGill University in Montreal and study philosophy. Now, philosophy is a discipline that asks the big questions in life. What is truth? What is reality? Who am I? And why are we here? The more I studied, the more confused I got. The questions just multiplied, and it didn't look like there were any answers on the horizon. But an amazing thing happened to me. I met a group of friends on campus who welcomed me into their friendship as though they had always known me. When I met them, it felt like meeting a group of long-lost brothers and sisters. I had never met people like that before. I started to spend more and more time with them, and step by step, I understood that they were Catholic. Growing up, my idea of religion was pretty negative. I thought that being religious meant being controlled by rules, being against science, or believing in fairy tales that weren't real. Being Catholic was for old people who didn't realize that society had moved on. What I discovered when I met this group of friends, though, was that Christianity was something that had changed their lives and made them more beautiful, more human. I was unable to tear myself away from these people because of how good it made me feel to be around them. All the questions that had been tormenting me from my philosophy classes started to make more sense. My life took on a new shape and meaning and a new direction as well. Even though it was hard for me to believe or accept it at first, this group of people told me that the reason for their joy was someone named Jesus. They had met him, and he had changed their lives and filled them with happiness. Now, that just didn't make any sense to me. How could somebody who died 2,000 years ago make a difference in my life now? But I had to face the evidence in front of my eyes as well. Here was a group of people living in a way I had never seen before, full of love, forgiveness, joy, mercy, understanding. Being around them, I started feeling like myself again for the first time in a really long time. So I took the plunge. I entered the church through a process called RCIA. And on March 30th, 2013, I was baptized, confirmed, and received my first Holy Communion. From that day on, the Lord put into my heart a lightness and a gratitude that I didn't know could exist before. I felt so radiant and filled with so much joy that I started thinking, what if my life could be like this all the time? What if I could give my whole life to the Lord? I think about it like this. When you find a good thing, you always want more of it. If you like ice cream or video games, you don't just want a little bit of ice cream or to play video games for just 10 minutes. You want a whole tub of ice cream, as much as you can eat. And you want to play video games all night long until the sun comes up. And it was the same for me. I discovered myself so happy in my relationship with the Lord that I thought, oh man, I don't want this to end. And that's how I started thinking about becoming a priest. Now, there's a lot more to say about myself, but I'm going to stop there. I wish so much that I could meet each of you in person and get to know your names, but I just can't right now. Instead, I'm going to be making some short videos like these throughout the year that you can follow with your family, with your friends, or with your classmates. Next week, I'm going to be speaking about the awesome feast we have coming up in the church called Christ the King. It's the end of the liturgical year, and it marks the beginning of a new season of Advent. So stay tuned for what's coming up next. Until then, God bless you. Ciao.